Dragon Ball New Age Chapter 2 is here. I already covered Chapter 1, so let's keep going and take a deep dive into this story. If you like variety in your anime, you gotta at least try VRV for 30 days, vrv.co/geekdom. Try it out for free, and you can watch shows like Rising of the Shield Hero, Demon Slayer, Black Clover, and Attack on Titan, plus classic long-running shonen like Naruto, One Piece, Dragon Ball Super, and so many others. There's so much anime on VRV that it's completely overrun with content. Try it out, vrv.co/geekdom. The link is in the description. The first chapter of Malik Torihane's 2019 reboot of Dragon Ball New Age reintroduces to the characters from Dragon Ball after Dragon Ball GT, but left off with a cliffhanger as a mysterious warrior, and no, this is not Broly, appears on Earth and confronts Vegeta, and he seems to know who Vegeta is. So we pick up here with Chapter 2 of the fan manga. This chapter is called A Fated Reunion, as Vegeta confronts this mysterious person, and they have the early panels sort of reminded me a lot of the classic Dragon Ball Z stare downs. I'm not sure if Malik did this on purpose, but the way that he kind of positioned the panels, it just kind of reminded me of that old style where there's that tension building. Vegeta wondering what's going on and who this is. And we find out quickly that this person has a history with Vegeta that Vegeta doesn't remember until he is reminded of it. He's a guy who worked with Vegeta and was pretty much abused by him, you know, for lack of a better term, and bullied by him. And it really is sort of comical in the sense that this is a trope in Dragon Ball Z with Goku, where we see the past, you know, returning. The past is always haunting Goku, whether it be the Red Ribbon Army and what he did there, or whether it be his heritage with his brother and Frieza and Vegeta and everybody else. His past and his heritage is always coming back to haunt him, even in Dragon Ball Super Broly. Well, it's funny because now we have a similar trope being used for Vegeta, where his past is now coming back to haunt him and the mistakes that he made. Now, obviously, in Goku's case, he was trying to do the right thing. He did do the right thing every chance he got, whereas Vegeta was a very different person when he was younger, so he obviously made a lot of enemies during those years. So even though this character is trying to get Vegeta to remember, he just can't remember anything about this guy. So when he finds out that Vegeta's family is there, his wife and daughter, he actually prepares to blast them, but Vegeta gets in the way. And this surprises the crap out of this guy because, remember, he knew the old Vegeta, not the new caring Vegeta who's willing to protect the ones he loves. I'm sure the Vegetable fans will really enjoy that. He gets in the way of the blast, and now we know that, yes, Vegeta is a changed man. Everybody knows it. Now this character knows it as well. Then, in a comical twist, Bulma tries to slap this guy, which is Malik, of course, paying an homage to the legendary scene in Battle of Gods with the My Bulma slap, but this time, the slap is interrupted by the girl who this guy is with, who also came with him to Earth, and she says, "If you touch my husband, I'll kill you," which, by the way, I loved this whole scene, and interestingly enough, we now know for certain that they are indeed married, so we got a mixed tag match going on here about to happen. So Vegeta decides that the time has come to settle this, of course, with their hands, and tells him about an area that's not far from where they're at that's deserted for them to fight. Classic Dragon Ball fashion, there's literally miles and miles and miles of terrain for these guys to fight, and they happen to be close to the city. But Vegeta, of course, being the fearless guy that he is, wants the battle to go there and to protect the lives of those in the Western capital, or West City, whatever you want to call it. So as they fly off, Mr. Popo and Piccolo both have an ominous feeling of something dangerous that could happen. I like how Torihane is using Piccolo as the exposition character here. He's going to be the character that's going to be telling the audience, you know, this is bad, this could be good, you know, what's going on here, and that's always helpful. Roshi's done it, Piccolo's done it, Whis has done it in the anime and in the manga, and now tradition continues with Piccolo doing it, which I do like. These new Space Saiyans are surprised at the fact that Vegeta is possibly a changed man, but apparently his sins are etched in history. In other words, he will not be forgiven because of what he did so many years ago. These guys just can't let it go, can they? And another big piece of change that surprised this guy is when they land in the canyon, Vegeta wants to know what their names are, and he has a flashback of when they were younger on a mission. Vegeta never cared to learn the names of the squad mates, And now, this is a different Vegeta. He wants to know their names, and so do we. But if you've read Dragon Ball New Age, the original, or at least heard of it, you might know what this person's name is. So he reveals himself to be Rigor. And that's right, it's pronounced Rigor, not Rigor. I checked with Malik himself because almost everybody pronounces it Rigor, but it is pronounced Rigor. It rhymes with trigger and another very bad word. And his wife is named Separi. So here we have the introduction of Rigor into the New Age. Now I gotta say this, to be critical, I feel like Rigor looks a little bit too much like Raditz and Vegeta kind of combined. He looks a lot like Raditz, and I feel like it's a little bit too derivative. I think if I were Malik, I would have added a few more features to differentiate him from Raditz. You know, maybe an eye patch or a scar or something a little bit different than the way he looks. But nonetheless, I like the way he looks. It's just, he looks too much like Raditz in my opinion. There could have been a little bit more done there. And of course, his girlfriend kind of looks like a Saiyan version of Videl mixed with one of Bardock's teammates. So that works. But overall, this is indeed Rigor, and that's how you pronounce it according to the creator. Now, I was expecting Vegeta to have this like shocked look on his face and, you know, eerie familiarity, but no, he didn't even care. He just put his hands up in the pose. He and Rigor, of course, homaging, tributing the classic Vegeta versus Goku poses. Of course, Rigor has his own pose, but Vegeta has his classic martial arts stance before they begin their big fight. So they tell each other not to hold back, kind of taunting themselves, and Vegeta says, okay, no problem, and he transforms into Super Saiyan 4, and that was a really cool transformation. I gotta give Malik credit here. The art is stupendous for this transformation, and boy, Rigor looks surprised at this power that Vegeta now has. But he has a trump card that his wife is very apprehensive of. But I'm wondering, okay, if this guy is so strong, why are they still using scouters? I guess he just never learned how to sense ki. According to when she uses the scouter, he measures at 20 million tani. Now, it says tani, and I've never really heard that, but it says in the actual manga, it's a unit of energy measurement from Rigor and Separi's home world. So that's from Malik himself. It's the way they measure power. So it's a different kind of scouter, but it's still using a scouter. And Rigor is like, oh, well, I can take him just the way I am right now. And he ends up puffing out his chest and powering up. So he's not in any way worried about taking on Vegeta. We have another great transformation here, big explosion, and it looks like Rigor is using a form of Super Saiyan, but we're not really sure what form it is. And Torihane ends the chapter by saying, next chapter, the true Super Saiyan. So this is probably going to be an exclusive transformation to Rigor, but as you can see right there, he doesn't have the Super Saiyan 4 hair, but he definitely has the things around his eyes, even though he tends to have that anyways. So it could be Super Saiyan 1 or 3. Difficult to tell, but I don't think it's 3 because he has his eyebrow still. So it's probably just Super Saiyan 1 or some exclusive form. So that's it for this manga chapter. It really was a lot of build up to the fight that we're not going to get yet and a cliffhanger, but overall the art was good and the reveal of who Rigor is, well, somewhat of who Rigor is. We really don't know his entire backstory, but he has a vendetta against Vegeta and we'll see if it gets resolved in the next chapter. Thank you so much. And check it out on the TaoofDragonBall.com. That is Derek Padula's website where all the chapters of Dragon Ball New Age have been uploaded. So as Malik gets these done, I believe they're going to be once a month. You will see the updated version there. Overall, I'm looking forward to seeing how the fights are going to be drawn. And I'm looking forward to seeing more of the story. Not much happened, like I said, for this chapter, but there's obviously more coming. And I look forward to seeing how the story will be changed. Even though I believe Malik is going to be changing a lot of the story. I don't know how much of it, but he will be changing what he wrote before. But he hasn't told me anything, and that's okay. I'm okay with not knowing anything because it makes everything seem a little bit more suspenseful, if that makes sense. Anyways, that's it for this manga review. Thank you so much, and if you enjoyed this video, subscribe, hit the like button, share it out, and support fan manga. Like I said, I'm not doing fan manga reviews often with the exception of this and maybe a couple others, and that's it. There's plenty of other YouTubers that cover that stuff, but hey, I'm enjoying this chapter or this series so far, and let's see where it goes. Plus, Malik is very cool. He's been very supportive of me as well, so I enjoy his work, and I hope you do as well. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Catch you down the road.